Going in 10. 3, 2, 1, go!
Kriszta, welcome to the Salty Hive experience. Are you excited?
Sure.
As excited as you can be. I want to start with just who is Kriszta? A little bit about you before you found CrossFit, maybe growing up a little bit. I know you grew up in a different country, right? You
Yes.
grew up in Hungary.
Hungry.
So it's like hungry,
Like hungry, but like you're hungry?
Yeah.
It's spelled with an A.
with it,
Yeah.
but it's not said Hungary.
Yes. It's just.
Is that just me that says it that way, or
Apparently,
a lot of
yes.
people say it?
No.
Okay, people don't mess that up. I just messed that up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to
okay.
know.
That's it.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your origin story.
So I was born and raised in Budapest, Hungary, until I was about 8, 9 years old. We came to the U.S. straight to Utah. My dad got a job at the University of Utah and decided to bring the whole family out. My mom, however, did not like it. So then after a year, we moved back to Hungary. And then my dad again decided that after a year, we moved back. So we were back and forth for a couple of years.
Just to Utah.
Straight to Utah.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We didn't speak English. We learned English here in an ESL program, English as a second language program in elementary school. And yeah, the rest, we just stayed here. We weren't sure whether we were going to stay here. My parents weren't sure whether we were going to stay forever. So we had to do for a few years, we had to do the Hungarian homework and the American homework just to keep up with the kids back home, just in case we moved back and we could go back into the school system.
Okay.
But then after, when we got into like high school, that kind of stopped because they're like, no, we're not going to go back. And we're going to finish high school here and college here. So.
Okay, so how old were you when you made your first trip, like first move to Utah, and how old were you when you made your trip back to Hungary?
So when we first moved here, I was, I think, 8 or 9. It was third grade. So I came for third grade. And then for fourth grade, we went back. And then for fifth grade, we came back.
Okay, so it was like quick year.
One year. Yeah.
Was that challenging as a kid?
So I was not very good at making friends anyway. And so when we came the first time, finally I made some friends towards the end of the year, in the school year, and then we moved back. And then we didn't know we were going to come back. So we thought we were going to stay there. And it was hard to get back into the class. In Hungary, you stay with the same class from first grade through 8th grade. And so they had a year without me. And so then getting back into it with an American accent. So it was again difficult. By the time we made friends again, we moved back here. So it was hard. It was hard. And I actually never felt like I fit into the US. I always felt different. And so to this day, a lot of my friends are international friends. I mean, outside of this amazing community, but yeah, so I've always felt like I was not meant to live in the US. Wanted to move back after college, and that didn't work out. And so it's just, I always felt different. So it was hard to kind of fit in, especially into the Utah culture, which was also the LDS culture. And we were not LDS. So back then, when we first moved here 35 years ago, it was a lot more LDS, Salt Lake City. The Olympics changed that, but yeah, it was kind of difficult going to school because even kids didn't accept us because we were not LDS and we were not part of the church. So, but
interesting. When you say that you feel like you're not, like, you don't fit into American culture, and what, like, give us some examples of that. What's the difference?
It's
yeah,
it's hard to tell.
Okay.
I think it's more of just in the mindset, I guess. I don't know. Most people say that I'm more American than I'm Hungarian because I've lived here longer than I've lived there, but I don't feel American. I'm very proud of where I'm from, and I always say where I'm from. And yes, I'm a dual citizen. I'm citizens of both countries, but and yes, America has given us a lot of great opportunities, and I wouldn't have Toby if I wasn't here. So yes, it's been great, but I'm very proud of where I'm from, and I'm proud to be part of the Hungarian community here. And I'm glad that there's so many young families now coming here that have young kids, and so my son can also grow up with the same cultures. And same traditions and language.
That's really cool. So you went to college here.
Yes.
Where did you go to college?
I went to the University of Utah. Both my bachelor's and my master's are from the University of Utah.
What has stopped you from going back?
I tried. I applied for jobs. I had a couple of interviews and they didn't go very well. And so that kind of became discouraging. So then I didn't even try. I feel like my Hungarian is not up to par to work there, though most people...
Like your language?
Yeah, yeah. Though most people disagree with that. Most Hungarians disagree with that. But, and so I'm not very confident in my Hungarian speaking, especially in the professional realm, because I learned all that in English because I went to college here and started working here and that kind of stuff. So all my professional language is in English. And so I always felt kind of self-conscious about it. And I think that probably had something to do with in the interviews as well. And I wasn't confident. And so, so it didn't work out. And so I just stopped trying.
Would you still consider moving back?
I thought about it.
Okay.
Especially with things going on here now. It's just, I've thought about it, but my child's dad is not able to leave the country. So I don't know if I want to be the cause of that severed relationship. So
makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You take Toby to Hungary.
Yes.
Every year.
Well, we've gone the past couple of years, but it wasn't every year. But yeah, he's been there several times. He's been there 5 times.
Do you have family still there at all?
Unfortunately, no. I still have one uncle, I guess. We don't have a close relationship, but my grandfather passed away last year, and my grandmother passed away the year before, and so it's just been, and now my other family's moved away, so they're in Europe or close to Europe, but there's not many people in Hungary left. There's childhood friends who are like family that are still there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you take Toby there for cultural reasons, like so that he can be like kind of embodied in the Hungary culture, and so he gets a little bit of taste of it?
It was more for family.
Oh, okay.
My grandfather was still alive.
Okay.
I wanted him to meet his great grandfather, obviously, and but this past year we went because we planned another trip from Hungary. We went to Egypt, and so we went to Hungary for that because our friends planned it from Hungary. So I take him because I think he should know where he's from. I eventually would like to take him to Guatemala since his dad can't, and I would like him to get to know that side of his culture as well, because I think that's very important. And I think that, I mean, it's not an offensive thing, but I think that lacks in the U.S. as to like, let's explore the world and let's, step outside of it. And so, and I think it's important that he sees different cultures, different people, different colors, different religions.
Yeah. Yeah,
sees
that's
the world.
really cool. I have a friend from Europe, and that's one thing I've noticed too, is that she is so much more well-traveled because she's, like, the U.S. does lack that.
Yeah.
Like,
well, we're
you
also
can
a big
travel
country. It's also a big
Yeah.
country, and it's hard to like
For
step
sure.
outside of it. It's expensive to step outside of it. In Europe, you can hop on a train, and within hours, you're in a different country.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to
Right.
explore the world. But which is also the reason anytime we go to Hungary, we pick a place we've never been, and then we go from there.
So how many countries have you been to?
Oh gosh, a lot. I don't know if I could give you a number, but probably 20 plus.
Wow. What's been your favorite country that you've been in?
One of my favorite experiences, just because it was so different, was Korea. I went to Korea for Taekwondo national championships or international championships, and it was just such an amazing cultural experience to see that side of the world. I've never been to Asia before that, and it was just amazing. But Egypt was the same thing. I've never been to Africa. And just to see such a different culture and different way of living was just amazing.
What would you say would be like one of the biggest differences between like a country like Korea and the U.S. or Egypt and the U.S. or?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. It just depends. I mean, Egypt is right by the Red Sea, and so it's very beach-like, very hot. But I mean, we have that here in the U.S. too because it's so big. There's parts of it that's like desert, parts of it that's ocean, oceanside, and so I don't know. I don't know if there's any like huge differences. I guess probably the food is a huge difference.
Is it better?
The Korean food, yes. Egyptian food, no.
Really?
Yes.
Really? I wouldn't even like what is mainly Egyptian food? What are they mostly eating?
Well, what we ate was mostly at the resort. So,
Okay.
so I don't really know, but the food at the resort was not great. So, but I don't think we had any like traditional Egyptian food there. So,
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know.
Okay, so going back to Korea, you went to the Taekwondo National Championship. Was that what World Championships as an athlete?
As an athlete.
Okay, so this is fun. This is the perfect leeway into what I was going to get into next. Something that you may not know about Kriszta, she is very, very good at Taekwondo. So give us a little background. Give us a little background of that. So when did you begin Taekwondo?
So I started when I was 14. Before that, I did some gymnastics, rhythmic gymnastics, a lot of dancing, did folk dancing in Hungary and folk dancing here. But I wanted to do something different. And I always felt like, so weight has always been an issue in my life. And I always felt like the biggest kid in the class. And I just wanted to do something different. And so we knew a Hungarian Taekwondo instructor. And so we went, tried it out, and I liked it. And so I just started. I was 14 and I did 3 to 4 hours a day after school. I was not very, I wouldn't say I was very athletic. I would never classify myself as very athletic. So for me, it was a little bit harder to come up the ranks, but I wanted to work harder just to prove certain doubters wrong. Some people in my family doubted that I could even do it, and so I was determined to prove them wrong. So within a year and a half, I got my black belt. And
can you explain to us the difficulty in that? Like, what is it like to get a black belt? Like, there's a lot of belts in between a white and a black. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I guess.
So it depends on the school, depends on the system. There's lots of different systems out there that we did. USAT, United States Association Taekwondo, and which was part of the World Taekwondo Federation. But there's also an International Taekwondo Federation. So there's different kind of systems, and there's let's see, white, yellow, green, blue, red, in between the black. So there's 5 belts in between the belts, black, but there's also stripes in between. So there's about 10 steps to get to 10 ranks to get to black belt. We did testings about every 3 months. There was a couple of times that I jumped rank because I knew the next.
So you can get belts.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Every once in a while. I mean, it depends on the person, but like I said, I was there 3 to 4 hours a day. So it became my life. Yeah, and after getting the black belt, I became an instructor. I started teaching, and that was my favorite part. So I've always felt like I wanted to be I always wanted to be a teacher. That was my lifelong dream. And with Taekwondo, I got to fulfill that. So started teaching and started coaching and continued to compete for a while. And then I tore my ACL at age 20. So then that kind of slowed me down on the competition realm because I had to have surgery and just too scared to get back into competition fighting. But I continued to teach and continued to coach and went all through the US coaching in different competitions. And then about 15 years ago is when I think Korea happened. So we had this opportunity to go join the team, and we got to do board breaking. We wanted to do power breaking. There was a couple of us that really wanted to do power breaking where you'd be breaking like roof tiles. So when I became a black belt, I wasn't allowed to break a brick for my black belt testing because I was female. So the instructor was very much against any females breaking bricks. So at that point became my mission to show that females can do it. So at every demonstration, at every testing, I would break bricks. And so started with 1, with 2, got all the way up to 9. I attempted 10, but the 10 stack got too high that I would have to jump, and only 9 of them broke. The last one didn't break. But that became my mission, to show that women can power break as well, that we're just as powerful as men are.
So is that the idea? Is you guys is that women can't because they don't have the same powers?
Yes. So in
Okay.
Korea, we were not allowed to.
Okay.
So the power breaking division was only male. We tried to appeal that, and we tried to see if we could compete, even against males. We were willing to compete against males, but they wouldn't let us, because again, it's still very much a male dominated sport, and women are kind of looked down as kind of frail and fragile, and that we can't do that. So I did a board breaking instead, where we did spin hook kicks, and I got the gold medal. So
That
Yeah.
is so cool.
but that was the last time I competed. After that, I still coached for a while, but now with Toby's schedule, I'm not able to do it. So I switched Taekwondo to CrossFit. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
What's the Taekwondo move that you're like either like most proud of, or you're like, this is like a party trick? It's pretty cool that I can do this.
Oh, I'm not going to demonstrate it, but my
Come
my
on.
favorite kick to use during fights was called an axe kick,
Okay.
which is basically taking it up above your head and then coming down straight on your face.
On their head. Oh, like
Yeah.
here or
Yeah.
like here? Like
Either one.
that would hurt too.
Yes. Yeah. So that was my favorite thing to do. And because of my flexibility, I was able to even do it in close quarters, and just able to like swing it up, and so they didn't see it coming. So that was
That's really
my
cool.
favorite kick. Yeah.
In Taekwondo, you mentioned it's a male dominant sport. Was it difficult to find like female competitors?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
it's harder to compete as a female in general because
Yes.
of the-
Especially as a teenager, because I was a heavier teenager. I always had to compete with the adults
okay.
in the heavyweight division. So
So it's a weight class division as
yes.
well.
Yeah. In the
Okay.
fighting. Yeah.
Was there ever a situation where you fought a boy? Or-
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was a competition in Idaho where, so my brother also started a little bit later than I did, but when we were both black belts, we went to an Idaho competition where it was a very limited amount of competitors. So the 3 of us, him, myself, and another guy, were in the same division. And so this other guy had to fight me first. I unfortunately didn't win.
I was like, did you kick his butt?
I was close, and he was so exhausted from our fight that he was not very good against my brother. And my brother was like, oh, "Well, it's time to kick your butt for kicking my sister's butt." So, yeah, so it was that was kind of cool to kind of show. And they actually gave me like an award for like being the most courageous or something like that for getting in there. But it was interesting. I was only 17 too, and it was an adult division. So yeah, so it was cool. It was cool to be able to show that, hey, girls have power too, and girls
Yeah.
are just as good.
I love that. I love that was like your whole thing in Taekwondo. Like,
Yes,
I just want to prove that like women can do this too.
absolutely.
Would you go back to coaching in the future?
I would love to. I miss teaching. I definitely miss teaching, miss the kids. I would love for Toby to learn it as well. It's just difficult being a single mom and trying to manage everything. And so it's hard to manage the schedule and to be able to go and do that as well.
That is so cool. Could you explain to me and maybe the audience as well, what is the difference between, I guess, what makes Taekwondo Taekwondo? There's a lot of different fighting.
Yes.
Like
Yeah. So Taekwondo means the way of the hand and the foot. So the Olympic sport, you basically kick. So it's a lot of kicking. So we use our feet more than we use our hands. We're not allowed to punch to the face. You can punch to the body, but for most of the time, it doesn't gain you a point. So it's mostly the feet, mostly kicking. That makes a difference. And plus, it's a Korean art, whereas like karate is a Japanese art. So it's from different countries. And so, yeah, so that's the basic difference, is that we use our legs and we do it from a distance rather than judo's up close where you're manipulating the joints. And where Taekwondo is more of a defensive sport where you're preventing the person from entering to your space.
Okay. So there's not like a wrestling component.
No,
Not at
no,
all.
we're not allowed to sweep. Like in the Olympic rules, you're not allowed to sweep. You're not allowed to grab. It's just a kicking, punching kind of art.
Okay. And how do you win?
You win by kicking the most or kicking the fanciest. So you can do, if you do like a spin kick to the head, you get more points than if you did like a spin kick to the body, or if you just kick to the head itself, and it's more points because it's a longer distance. It's a longer distance from your legs to the head in order to get the point, and so it's more difficult. So therefore, you get more points.
I'm unbelievably fascinated by this. I don't know if it's about me, but if I had to pick a sport to like love to watch, it's fighting disciplines.
Oh,
I
okay.
love like the fighting disciplines. I think they're so cool.
So do you watch Taekwondo in the Olympics?
Well, I don't watch the Olympics very religiously.
Okay.
I know I need to be better because
Yeah,
I definitely want to watch it more. But I like watching UFC quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
they'll be like, oh, like a Taekwondo masters, like that's his discipline, and like, they all have different disciplines.
Yes.
So like it's kind of cool. So like,
Yeah. The
hearing
Taekwondo
about
people
it-
usually don't win in UFC just because they're not used to the whole closeness and the grabbing, unless they've done a different art.
Right.
I've also done Hapkido.
Yeah. Well, typically they've done all the arts.
Yeah. Whereas I've done Hapkido as well, and
Okay.
that's joint manipulation. And so like up close, whereas Taekwondo is a little bit more of a distance.
Got it. Did you not like Hapkido as much as Taekwondo?
So I mean, I have a black belt in it too, but
Don't put it like that. Come on.
But I didn't enjoy it as much as Taekwondo. I like the kicking portions of it more than I did. I didn't like it when my arm was twisted in directions it wasn't supposed to go. So that's really, I mean, I liked doing it to other people, but I didn't like it when they practiced it on me.
Okay. Was there other fighting disciplines you dabbled in?
I did Kempo for a while.
What is that?
And karate. Kempo is also a kind of like a Hapkido. It's more of a manipulation of the joint.
Okay.
And then I did karate for a little bit too. So.
And is karate and Taekwondo similar? What's the biggest difference other than their origin?
Well, again, it depends on what kind you do, but like the traditional karate just had a lot more deeper stances, a lot more hand movements, whereas we're more upright and ready to kick kind of for Taekwondo. So,
Got it.
yeah.
That's so cool. When do you feel like, well, first off, do you plan to like have Toby try these different types?
I would like to. I mean, I'm a master instructor in Taekwondo. I have a 5th degree black belt, so I could open my own school, but I'd rather not, just because it would take so much time and so many resources away from Toby, and so but I would like him to do it, and he did for a while. He has a yellow belt, but again, his now schedule with school has prevented us from continuing, but eventually I'd like for him to get back into it.
So going back to the things you could do with your 5th degree black belt, is that I say that right? Would that be something you want to do in the future? Is like open a studio?
I thought about it. I thought a lot about it because teaching is my passion. But the problem with that is I've seen too many instructors lose the passion for the art once money became involved, once it became their livelihood. And I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose that passion. And so I'd rather teach in a different school or different program that's maybe under someone else's name, but still just as influential to teach the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You keep mentioning that teaching was your passion, and that's what you wanted to be, right?
Yeah.
What stopped you from pursuing that? Just curious.
Family.
Okay.
Didn't have the support from family to do that. And when we came to the U.S., my mom was a teacher in Hungary, and she wasn't allowed to teach here in the U.S. because she didn't have a U.S. license. She didn't speak English very well. And so she relied on her degree in chemistry to kind of fall back on. So when I didn't have the support, I decided, okay, fine, then I'll pursue a different degree, kind of as my fallback degree, and then I'll go back and get my teaching license. And then after getting my MBA, I didn't have experience, so I needed to go gain experience, and just never went my teaching license. So eventually, I mean, I would like to, but at this point, financially, I can't afford it because it would be a huge pay cut. And so I'd rather probably wait till retirement and maybe teach then.
That's cool. What would you like to teach?
I always like to teach elementary school kids.
The specific grade?
No,
Just any
just
elementary school?
kids, yeah.
Why teaching?
I love kids. Always wanted a big family. I always wanted to work with kids. I babysat since I was 11. I just love being around kids, and so that's where that came from.
That's awesome. Let's transition into your CrossFit journey. When did you start CrossFit?
I started CrossFit 4 years ago around Thanksgiving.
And was your first experience with CrossFit in this gym?
Sort of. I mean, I've done like different like boot camps and stuff like that. So I think those are pretty similar. And it was this gym, but it was CrossFit New Life at the time when I came for the very first time, which was years ago. I can't remember how many years ago, but I came for a few classes with Deb Templin, and that's how I found this place again. Is I reached out to Deb. I was at a different gym, and then there were some disagreements and didn't work out, and so I was looking for a new place to go and called her and I said, hey, is this place still here? And she's like, yeah, come on down, and they're open. And so then I just came in, and the rest is history.
How do you know Deb?
I was her Taekwondo instructor.
That's
Her
crazy.
and her son's Taekwondo instructor
Oh,
a long time ago. So
cool.
I've known her for like 20 years.
That is so cool. So why CrossFit then? What made you decide to pull the trigger?
Like I said, I was looking for a different gym.
Right.
And she was raving about this gym all the time. And so I said, I'll come and try it. And just fell in love with the people here. Everybody was so welcoming. To be honest, I've never felt that before in any other place, not even in Taekwondo, not even any other gym. Like I mentioned, weight's always been an issue in my life, and I've always been a bigger girl, and people have always looked down on that. Even in Taekwondo, like in Korea, the amount of stares and pointing and laughing I got from being a bigger athlete was very difficult. And so coming here, that was never questioned. There was never a subject. It was, everybody, even the ones I call pro athletes like yourself, ones that compete and are at the top of the game, even that they didn't look down on me. They welcomed me, they helped me, they showed me how to do it and encouraged me. And that was something I haven't felt in any other gym. So that was the reason I stuck around.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean the movements are hard, and I'm not great at it, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to matter here to any other coaches, to any of the athletes, and that's what makes it easy to come through the door.
I love that. That's really, really amazing. And I know that you have yourself been on like quite a weight loss journey since you've been here.
Well, sort of. Yeah, I was. Yeah.
So you worked with Trish a lot.
Yes.
And you found a lot of success. Would you be comfortable telling us how much weight you lost in that?
I lost about 100 pounds. I've since gained a little bit back. So I'm working on hopefully losing it again. And I mean, not all of the 100 that I gained back, maybe about 20 or so that I've gained back since. But yeah, so I'm trying to get back on the horse. And
so one thing about being in a gym is a lot of people go through weight loss journeys like this, where they're either trying to lose weight, gain muscle, like the whole ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
It comes back, it goes away, it comes right, it always ebbs and flows. Would you mind sharing some of the hardships and successes that you've gone through that people will probably be able to relate to?
So I mean the hardship is the ebbs and flows of coming
Absolutely.
back, and losing a little bit of muscle. So, when I wasn't able to bench press what I could bench press the year before was a bit of a punch to the ego of, oh man, the one thing I'm good at and I can't do it, at the same level as I did before, at a different weight. But Justin always approached me and said, you just gotta come to terms with that it's okay that you lost a little weight, lost a little muscle, and that's okay. You'll build it back up. and so yeah, so that was a hard one for me. Is that I was always strong, never thin but strong, and I felt weak. I started feeling weak because of the weight loss. But but then I noticed strength in different ways, different aspects of CrossFit. Like I was able to do a handstand, or I can take a few steps in my handstand walk, or I'm able to do a lunge and touch my knee, or so just the different things that didn't happen before. And I'm not sure if that's because of the weight loss or because of the continuous coming and just building up strength, but either way, it was nice to see those rewards.
Yeah, that's really cool. Thank you for sharing that. I know that a lot of people have dealt with that, like especially like the losing weight and losing strength.
Yeah.
It's like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
everything feels so heavy. Like, and personally, being strong is one of the funnest parts about being in here is lifting heavy. So it is a bummer. But yeah, like
That's my favorite.
yeah, it's so fun. That is the funnest part. But yeah, those ebbs and flows can be really, really tough. So thank you for sharing that. I think a lot of people go through that, and it's hard to come to terms with.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
well, when you lose weight, you lose muscle as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is.
And then when the stress levels increased and gaining some of it back, I mean that's been hard. That's been difficult too. But hopefully I can get back on the wagon.
Yeah.
And do it again.
That's the thing. The other cool thing about the wagon is it never stops going.
It's true.
Right? You can you fall off, you can run back up to it and hop back on because it's always going to be going.
Yeah.
So like even with those ebbs and flows, like it's like kind of our message of the week where we talk about how motivation and discipline, like motivation is going to come and go. It's all about that discipline, right? Oh, I wish we could ride the motivation train all the way.
It'd be great if the motivation is always there.
But we gotta rely on that discipline. I guess my last question about CrossFit, about this CrossFit conversation is why do you continue with Salty Hut?
So when I first started, I did it during, we were still sort of through COVID at that time. We were still working from home. And so I was able to take kiddo to school, take Toby to school, and then come here and do it on my own time. So when that changed and we had to go back to the office, Trish and Justin, and everybody here really was so accepting that I brought Toby with me, that so that I could continue. That was just heartwarming, and the fact that he can be here allows me to be here, and so that was a huge reason why I was able to continue. But really, it's the community. And I'm sure everybody says this. It's the community here. This is a one-of-a-kind community that I've never seen before, never felt before. Everybody is just so welcoming, so accepting. I've made amazing friends in my age group and outside of my age group. And it's such a great variety of people here that are just have the same community spirit. And the fact that everybody treats my kid like their own is just an extra bonus. And so that's what makes me come back. Now every time I go on a vacation, I have fear of missing out. What am I missing? What workout am I missing? Who's at the gym? Why am I not there? So it makes it, which is great, which I think is awesome, that because of this amazing community that you guys have built, that people just want to show up even when they don't feel like working out, but they still show up.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's kind of fun to like sit back in the front room and like get like a big view of what's going on.
Yeah.
And like people walk in the door and they're like, "Hey Toby, hey Toby,
Yeah.
what, you got a magic kit today? What are you doing, right?"
He's such a fixture here. He could be a mascot.
He's so awesome. Like,
yeah. Which, I mean, it's just a testament to the people here, though. I mean, they've all accepted that he's here. And usually he's not disrupting class. So at the beginning there were times, but even then, like, everybody basically raised him here. I mean, it's been a village because, Justin would tell him, don't do that or do this or show him. I do one-on-ones with Justin now. And every time Justin just helps him jump in too, because he wants to do it with us. And then he shows it to him and he helps him and he brings out smaller weights so he can do it. Or, so that's, you don't find that anywhere. you don't find that anywhere else. And I've been other places and you just don't find it. So
That's awesome. Do you have any specific stories by chance of the community that you'd like to share? Or maybe like a memory that comes to mind that's like, I don't know, maybe is a little heart touching or just something that really embodies the community here? You've kind of already said a lot, but
I mean, I have a lot of stories I can tell you, but one really touching was I wanted to compete. I wanted to try competition, and I did. I think it was 2 years ago that I did a competition out in Roy. I name of it doesn't come to my mind at this point, but it was one of the, like, really scaled easy competition, or easy, I mean, for beginners. And I did it with Emily, and the touching part was that it's about 45 minutes of a drive from here. Justin drove up for the entire competition. He was there, but he wasn't the only one. Lots of people came just to support us. We were the only ones competing from Salty Hive, and we were, I don't want to say nobodies, but we were like, at the bottom of the leaderboard, I guess you would say. But like, we were very beginners, and the fact that so many people showed up, I would say about 7 or 8 people showed up, that just to come cheer us on. And I mean, that was so touching that they would take the time out of their Saturday to come and support us. It's just, it's beyond words. And it's beyond words.
that's an amazing story. I'm trying to remember what that comp was called too.
I can't remember the name of it.
Would you want to compete again?
I would love to, but my range of motion, because of my right knee, is not where it needs to be. And every competition seems to have squats in it.
It's not going away either.
So I just, even that competition, like, I had to like go to the judges separately and be like, hey, this is what's happening. And they didn't hold it against me. Obviously, we were not the top finishers anyway. But they were very nice about it. But it was just a little bit embarrassing that I couldn't do the range of motion like it needs to be. And so I would like for it to get to that point to be able to compete, but I don't feel well.
With that knee, is that the knee that you tore your ACL on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you haven't had the range of motion pretty much since then?
No, I've re-injured it.
Okay.
And through time with age, it's just gotten worse. So
how did you tear your ACL? I should have asked this.
It was at a competition.
So
it was during a fight. Yeah.
How would you say the approach to Taekwondo and the approach to CrossFit, is there any similarities for you as an athlete?
Absolutely, just showing up. I mean,
okay.
I would never say I was really, really good at Taekwondo. I was never really like a top athlete or anything like that, nor am I in CrossFit. But
sounds like you were though in Taekwondo.
No, I got lucky and I got to experience a lot of different things, but I was never like good enough to go to nationals. I was never good enough to be on the Olympic team. I just not really like super top, and that was okay, because really my mission through that was just to teach. I really enjoyed the teaching aspects of it, and so it just, I think for me it was more of, I'll just show up and I'll just do my best, and that's kind of the same thing here. As being a bigger girl here, I always feel like the fattest one in the class or the slowest one in the class. But I've come to terms with that, and that's okay, because I still show up and I'm still trying. So even if I'm finished last, then I finish last. If I can't run to the 200, but I'll run to the 100, then I'll just run to the 100, So it's a progress. It's a process and slow progress of like coming to terms with the fact that it's okay to be the slowest one here. So
that also brings up another question. How have you changed? Your demeanor, your everything has changed. How has it changed from when you first started to now? How have you changed?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I know I've made progress. I don't see the progress as fast as I wish I did. I guess, I mean, I don't know if I've changed that much, because I still apologize for being someone's partner, but but I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm part of the cool club here. You know, most everybody knows me, and I know most everybody here, and it's just been it's nice. It's the friendliness. So I guess I've opened up a little bit more, maybe. I chat more in class, I guess, maybe, but um, as in my internal attitude about myself, that's still a work in progress. So,
Have you felt like that's improved?
um, sometimes in certain movements, I guess, I'm a little bit more confident, but um, overall, I still kind of feel lame. So that's just an internal battle I will constantly have. So
I think a lot of people, more people than maybe you think, have that internal battle with themselves too. I feel like people on the outside see progress for people way
Yeah.
faster than you see it with yourself,
yeah,
right? And like guilty as charged, like people out there see progress in
Right.
people way faster than you see it,
right,
right? Especially for people that work hard and have goals and all those things. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, you get a goal, but then all of a sudden you can't celebrate it because you're on to the next goal.
Yeah.
Right. So then it's like it's a learning curve to like stop and be like, I did that.
Mm-hmm.
And then make like your next goal, right? Like that's it's such a work in progress because
Yes.
it's like once you hit a goal, you got the next goal, and then it's like, well, I'm never good enough for myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I try to be positive about me, but I'm easier. It's easier to be positive about other people than it is to be.
Absolutely. We're gonna play a game now. These are just gonna be some more fun, loving questions. You can go into. Please feel free to go into depth, but I just don't have to. First one is, what is something that you've done this year that you're proud of?
I parasailed over the Red Sea in Egypt.
Oh, that's cool.
Considering I'm afraid of heights.
Let's say, was that
Yeah. Toby wanted to do it, and I was like, so it's a lifetime experience, and I want to experience it with you. So yeah, so we parasailed over the Red Sea, and it was he's very brave. He would jump out of a plane tomorrow if he was able to. He's got no fear, and it was amazing. It was one of my favorite experiences with him. And we laughed the entire way. They videotaped us. They provided pictures. I'm like, of course, I'm going to purchase these pictures. And yeah, so it was a super fun experience.
That is so cool. Do you feel like Toby pushes you to
Yes.
things? Well, like what else? What's another example?
So he loves being outdoors. I'm not. Haven't been an outdoor kind of person most of my life, but we go camping. I take him camping, just the two of us, just because he just loves it so much. And the parasailing, skiing, he does skiing. So then I'm trying to be a better snowboarder, just to be by his side. I snorkeled for the first time in the Red Sea this year because of him, because he's such a water baby. So yeah, he very much pushes me to try new things and just be there for the moment and not think about wearing a swimsuit or that kind of stuff. Like, just don't think about that. Just be there for the moment. So I'm trying to adopt that.
That like made me want to cry. That was really beautiful. That was really, really good. That actually comes right into, and then my next question is, what's your favorite thing about being a mom?
Oh, the unconditional love. I've never felt that in my life. So when he came along, and even as a baby, I felt that from him. It was the strangest feeling. That he just loved me no matter what size I was, no matter what I looked like, no matter what I could do or couldn't do. And yeah, that's just the fact that he's just there to always give a hug and just his beautiful heart.
He really does have a beautiful heart.
Yeah.
He has such a sweet, sweet heart. If you had to give the moms out there a piece of mom advice, we have a lot of new moms in this gen right now. What would that advice be?
Enjoy every moment. They change so quickly. They change every day, year to year. Just enjoy every day. Relish in that moment, because tomorrow it's not going to be the same. That's how I try to approach it. Even the bad moments, between year 2 and 4 was terror. But even then, like it won't be the same tomorrow. It won't be the same next year. So enjoy every second.
I love that. That's really great advice. Last thing, if you were to put your life in a little telescope, I don't know if that's the right stuff, some sort of scope.
Under a microscope.
Yeah, okay.
Under
Put
a
your
microscope.
life under a microscope. All of the things you've learned, all of the things you've experienced, what would be some words of wisdom you would give to someone, or maybe like a way you live your life, or something within that realm? I think that's like kind of like a mantra.
I would say the same thing I just said to the moms. Enjoy the moment, because I wasted too many years worrying about what other people thought of me or what I looked like to other people, and just didn't, not that my weight ever stopped me from doing something, but I was very self-conscious about it. And now I just try to be like, I don't care. Let's just do it. Let's just have fun. Life is too short. Life goes by too quickly. Things change too quickly. Tomorrow you might have the same opportunities you have today. So jump on it and take it.
That was a really good place to end. Thank you so much for coming on to the Salty Hive Experience.
you for
I'm
having
very
me.
excited for, I mean, like you said, I think most people know you, but I'm excited for them to really get to know you.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
You did so good. That was scary.